Shalom everybody, it's me Amir, welcome back to GoOn Berlin, and today I would like to answer some questions. As promised, today is going to be a Q&A session because it's been a while since I uploaded video for the last time. And I'm sorry for that, I was working on my documentary film. It's a short documentary that is taking place here in Berlin, and I think the final result is kind of interesting, and I hope maybe next year to screen it in some film festivals. Anyway, today it's going to be a Q&A session, as I promised you last time, and you wrote me some questions. So before we begin, I also want to say this is not going to be only a Q&A session, because only Q&A, only seeing my face is a little bit boring. I will take the camera tonight and I will try to make some night photography. It's a little bit tricky because filming video in the night, it's kind of hard. So today I found a new toy. It's this glass bowl, crystal bowl. I know it's not 2015 anymore, but it's still kind of interesting. Maybe I can do something with it. And also, to make things even harder for me, I will try to shoot everything only on vintage lenses. Anyway, let's start with the Q&A. So Christina and Chris ask, where are you coming from? So Christina and Chris, maybe you find my accent a little bit confusing. It doesn't sound very familiar because I'm coming from a very small country in the Middle East. There are not a lot of people there. It's called Israel. It's the land of the Jewish people, and also Palestine, the land of the Palestinian people. Before moving to Berlin, I was living in Israel in a very famous city called Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the holy city for the three religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And because of that, it's also the center of conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. The city itself is a mixed city of Israelis and Palestinians, but there is also a lot of violence in the street and a lot of racism. And it's a very complicated city to live at. But in my opinion, it's the most beautiful city in Israel. The market there is fantastic, the food is great, and there is also a lot to see. So when it's safe, it's nice, but it can be also very not safe. Ugi Raza asked, what is your favorite makeup product? Well, Ugi, I don't use makeup, but thank you for the question. Maybe eyeliner, because it's the only one that I can think about, the only one that I know. Someone once told me that maybe I should use concealer here under my eyes, but I don't know, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Yeah, maybe I need someone to teach me how to use makeup. So Nicole Dodo asked, what do you do when it's really get cold? It is -30 Fahrenheit here for a month or so normally. Well, Nicole is referring to a video I made about how to survive the Berlin winter. There I said that the most extreme weather in Berlin is -10 degrees Celsius, and -30 Fahrenheit, I think it's -34 Celsius or so. And -34 Celsius is pretty damn cold. It's never gets so cold here in Berlin. Like, the most extreme coldness that I recall is like -20 degrees Celsius, and I have no answer for that. Well, I don't know, how do you survive? Maybe you can tell me, Nicole, what do you do when it's get -34 degrees Celsius over there? But I also got a lot of other comments that I'm dressing up too much for the cold, and maybe it was not so clear in the videos that I'm working as a photographer and therefore I'm outside all day long. So I need to wear a little bit more clothes than usual. If I were to work in an office, for example, I would dress less. Let's say it that way. Let's hope it will never get so cold here in Berlin. Lauren O'Reilly asks something similar. Where are you coming from? How does Berlin compare to that? Well, Lauren, as I said before, Berlin is not as complicated and it's not the center of conflict of any nation. It's much more quiet here. And also there are pros and cons, of course. There are things that I miss about Jerusalem. For example, the food and the weather, that is a little bit better than in Berlin. Berlin is a much bigger city than Jerusalem also. Culturally, people in Israel are a little bit more open about what they are thinking, about what they want to say. They don't hold it back. Some people interpreted this culture as warmer culture and here a little bit colder because people are not so expressive as they are in Israel. I don't like this analogy of temperature or body temperature in that regard. I think people in Israel can be also very cold sometimes, and also here people can be super warm. I don't even know what does it mean. Anyway, one big thing that is very different between Israel and Germany is food. The food culture in Israel is much more developed, in my opinion. Here the food culture in Germany is less about celebrating flavors and scents and gathering. Here food culture is more about being healthy, about consuming the right products that society tells you you will be a good person if you will buy them. In Israel, people really celebrate food. This is something that I miss quite a lot, actually. Yeah, in Israel we say that if you want to open someone's heart, first you need to open up his tummy. I don't know if they will say that also here in Germany. Next question is from Larissa Jaffe. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Why did you decide to live in Berlin? And what do you enjoy most about living there? Well, Larissa, I decided to move to Berlin. It's a very private question, but I will try to answer it honestly. I moved out of Israel to Germany, to Berlin, because of my political point of view. The right wing is controlling the government at the moment in Israel. Therefore, occupation of Palestine is very severe at the moment, and there are a lot of human rights violations happening in the West Bank and in Gaza. There are a lot of wars, there are a lot of military operations, as they call it, and yeah, a lot of people are dying because of that. Also, before I moved to Berlin, I was working as a video editor in a very famous news company in Israel. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, didn't like the channel that I was working at, and at the time he wanted to shut it down, and I didn't want to live in a country where the Prime Minister wanted to get me fired. A lot of people say that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. If we will be honest about it, Israel is not a democracy. Israel is an apartheid state. I know it's a little bit controversial what I'm saying, but it's the truth. There are many people in Israel that are not allowed to vote, and they are living there. I'm talking about millions of people. So this is the definition of apartheid, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on to the fun part of your question. The thing that I enjoy the most about Berlin is that it's a cosmopolitan city, that I have friends now in Berlin from all over the world, and it's a very open-minded city. I can be whoever I want to be here and nobody judges me. And this is a very unique experience. If you are planning to move to Berlin, please ask me more questions. I'll be happy to help you and to make videos about it. I know one of my most popular videos on this channel is about the 10 things that you need to know before you are moving to Berlin. And if you have more questions or you want me to make more videos about this topic, I would love to do that. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a like. Don't be shy, it really helps me. And also, if you like my content, please consider subscribing to the channel for future videos. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.